Welcome to today's video. Today, we are going to explore a book that changes how you connect with people. How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less by Nicholas Boothman. This is not a book about manipulation. This is not a book about pretending to be someone you are not. This is a book about authenticity, about presence, about the simple, powerful skills that help you build real rapport with anyone you meet. If you have ever felt nervous meeting new people, struggled to start conversations, or wondered why some people seem to connect instantly while others drift apart, this summary is for you. Stay with me until the end, because the framework you learn today can transform how you meet people, how you communicate, and how you build relationships that matter. Let us begin. We live in a world where first impressions happen fast, really fast. Research shows we have about 90 seconds to make a favorable impression when we first meet someone. 90 seconds. That is less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. Less time than a short commercial break. In those 90 seconds, people decide if they like you, if they trust you, if they want to know more. The good news is this: making people like you is not magic. It is not luck. It is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. Nicholas Boothman spent years studying how people connect. He worked as a photographer, capturing moments with strangers all over the world. He noticed something powerful. The people who connected easily were not the most beautiful, the richest, or the loudest. They were the ones who understood a few simple principles. They had the right attitude. They used open body language. They spoke with warmth. They listened with curiosity. And they knew how to find common ground fast. This book shares those principles in a clear, practical way. Let us walk through them step by step. First, let us talk about attitude. Your attitude is the foundation of every interaction. It is the invisible signal you send before you even speak. Think of attitude like a tray on which you serve yourself to others. If your tray holds warmth, curiosity, and respect, people will want to taste what you offer. If your tray holds anger, impatience, or indifference, people will walk away. Boothman calls this the really useful attitude. A really useful attitude is one that helps you get what you want while respecting others. It is not about being fake. It is about choosing the mindset that serves your goal. For example, imagine you are at a coffee shop and you want to strike up a conversation with someone interesting. If your attitude is, "I hope they do not think I am weird," you will seem nervous and closed off. But if your attitude is, "I am curious about this person and what they have to share," your body will relax, your smile will be genuine, and your words will flow naturally. The same situation, two different attitudes, two very different outcomes. Your attitude controls your mind, and your mind delivers your body language, your voice tone, and your words. Choose a really useful attitude, and everything else follows. Now let us talk about body language. More than half of what people respond to when they meet you is nonverbal. Your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions, your eye contact. These signals speak louder than words. Body language falls into two broad categories: open and closed. Open body language exposes your heart. It signals cooperation, trust, and welcome. Examples include uncrossed arms, relaxed shoulders, a genuine smile, and steady eye contact. Closed body language protects your heart. It signals defensiveness, discomfort, or disinterest. Examples include crossed arms, hunched shoulders, avoiding eye contact, and fidgeting. When you meet someone new, immediately point your heart warmly at their heart. Stand or sit with your body facing them. Keep your hands visible and relaxed. Make eye contact first. Smile first. These small actions send a powerful message: I am open. I am here. I am ready to connect. Consider the story of Rosa, a waitress who went to buy a computer. The salesman, Tony, started with open body language, unbuttoned jacket, palms up, eye contact, a warm smile. Rosa felt comfortable. But when Tony's story did not add up, his body language changed. He crossed his arms, turned sideways, avoided eye contact. Rosa noticed the mismatch between his words and his gestures. She trusted the gestures, not the words, and walked away. This is the power of congruence. When your body, your voice, and your words all say the same thing, you appear sincere. People believe you. When they do not match, people feel uneasy. They trust the body, not the words. Your voice is the second most powerful channel of communication. It accounts for about 38% of what people respond to. Your tone, your volume, your speed, your rhythm. These elements carry emotion. A warm, steady tone invites connection. A harsh, rushed tone creates distance. Boothman emphasizes the importance of belly breathing. When you breathe from your abdomen, your voice becomes deeper, richer, and more calming. Try this. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe slowly. Notice which hand moves more. If your chest hand moves more, you are chest breathing, which is associated with stress. If your belly hand moves more, you are breathing deeply, which calms your nervous system and enriches your voice. Practice speaking from your belly. Your words will sound more confident, more trustworthy, more inviting. Also, synchronize your voice with the person you are meeting. If they speak softly, lower your volume. If they speak slowly, match their pace. This is not copying. This is connecting. When people hear their own rhythm in your voice, they feel understood, they feel safe, they open up. Now let us talk about the greeting. The first few seconds of contact are critical. Boothman breaks the greeting into 5 simple steps. Open, eye, beam, high, lean. Open means opening your attitude and your body. Decide on a really useful attitude before you approach. Keep your heart aimed at the person. Do not cross your arms. Eye means making eye contact first. Look the person directly in the eye. Let your eyes reflect your positive attitude. Beam means smiling first. Let your smile be genuine, not forced. High means introducing yourself clearly. Say your name with a pleasant tone. Lean means tilting slightly forward to show interest. These 5 steps take only a few seconds, but they set the tone for everything that follows. Practice them. Make them natural. When you greet someone with openness, eye contact, a smile, your name, and a lean, you create an instant invitation to connect. Once the greeting is done, conversation begins. Conversation is how you build rapport, and questions are the spark plugs of conversation. But not all questions are equal. There are open questions and closed questions. Open questions invite explanation. They begin with who, what, when, where, why, or how. Examples. What brings you here today? How did you get interested in that? Where are you from? These questions open people up. They invite stories, opinions, feelings. Closed questions elicit yes or no answers. Examples. Do you like this? Have you been here before? Is this your first time? These questions close people down. They stop the flow. To keep conversation going, use open questions, and always follow up on free information. Free information is the small details people share without being asked. If someone says, I just started a new job in marketing, that is free information. You can follow up with, what made you choose marketing? What do you enjoy most about your new role? How is the team you are working with? Each follow-up deepens the connection. Each follow-up shows you are listening. Active listening is the other side of conversation. It means listening with your eyes, your body, and your heart. Nod to show you understand. Lean in to show interest. Give small verbal encouragements. Really? Tell me more. That is fascinating. Active listening makes people feel heard, and when people feel heard, they like you. Now let us talk about synchronizing. This is one of the most powerful concepts in the book. Synchronizing means gently matching the other person's behavior to create rapport. It is not mimicking, it is mirroring with respect. When 2 people are in rapport, they naturally synchronize. They lean at the same angle. They gesture in similar ways. They breathe at a similar pace. They speak at a similar speed. You can speed up this natural process by consciously synchronizing. Start with body language. If the person crosses their legs, cross yours. If they gesture with their hands, gesture with yours. If they smile, smile back. Then synchronize voice. Match their tone, volume, and speed. Finally, synchronize words. Use similar language. If they say, that sounds great, you can say, that does sound great. If they use visual words like, I see what you mean, You can use visual words too. Synchronizing works because it creates familiarity. When people feel like you are like them, they trust you, they relax, they open up. Consider the story of Paul, a product manager who met an angry supermarket owner, Mr. Sabo. Mr. Sabo was shouting, waving his arms, jabbing Paul's shoulder. Instead of shrinking back, Paul synchronized him. He matched his gestures, his tone, his energy. Then, slowly, Paul calmed his own movements. Mr. Sabo followed. Within minutes, the angry owner put his arm around Paul's shoulder and said, "Give this man any help he needs." Paul did not argue, he did not defend, he synchronized, then led. That is the art of rapport by design. Now let us talk about sensory preferences. This is where the book gets really fascinating. Boothman explains that although we all use all 5 senses, each of us has one sense we rely on most. Visual people process the world through what they see. They use picture words. I see what you mean. That looks great. Show me. Auditory people process the world through what they hear. They use sound words. That sounds right. I hear you. Tell me more. Kinesthetic people process the world through what they feel. They use feeling words. I feel that. That makes sense. Let me get a handle on this. When you can identify someone's sensory preference, you can communicate on their wavelength. For example, if you are selling a carpet to a kinesthetic person, do not say, imagine how this will look in your living room. Say, feel how soft this is under your feet. If you are explaining a plan to a visual person, use diagrams and pictures. If you are pitching an idea to an auditory person, focus on the rhythm and flow of your words. Recognizing sensory preferences is a superpower. It helps you connect deeper, faster. To spot sensory preferences, listen to the words people use. Watch their eye movements. Visual people often look up when thinking. Auditory people look side to side. Kinesthetic people look down. Notice their breathing. Visual people breathe high in the chest. Kinesthetic people breathe from the belly. These clues are subtle but powerful. Practice noticing them. You will be amazed at how quickly you can tune in. Let us talk about making yourself memorable. You can have a great conversation, but if the person forgets you 5 minutes later, what was the point? To be memorable, give people a handle. A handle is a unique detail that sticks in their mind. It could be a story, a phrase, a visual detail. For example, a saleswoman told customers to ask for the Newfie when they returned to the store. Newfie is a nickname for someone from Newfoundland. It was quirky, memorable, and personal. Customers remembered her. Another example, wear a distinctive accessory, a colorful scarf, a unique pin, a signature scent, or share a brief, vivid story about yourself. The key is to be authentic. Do not fabricate. Just highlight what makes you, you. People remember what engages their imagination. Talk in color. Describe experiences with sensory details. Instead of saying, I had a good vacation, say, I watched the sunrise over the ocean, felt the warm sand under my feet, and heard the waves crash like a gentle drum. Paint pictures with your words. People will remember the feeling, not just the fact. Now let us address difficult people. What if someone is closed off, aggressive, or shy? Boothman offers simple guidance. First, ask yourself, do I really need to engage with this person? If yes, clarify your desired outcome. What do you want to achieve? Then, synchronize respectfully. Match their body language and voice tone without mimicking. Once you have rapport, you can gently lead. Uncross your arms and see if they follow. Slow your speech and see if they match. If they do not follow, go back to synchronizing. With shy people, ask open-ended questions. Give them time to respond. With aggressive people, stay calm. Do not match their anger. Synchronize their energy at a lower level, then lead toward calm. The goal is not to win. The goal is to connect. Even a brief, respectful connection can change the dynamic. Let us bring this all together. Making people like you in 90 seconds or less is not about tricks. It is about presence. It is about choosing a really useful attitude. It is about opening your body, making eye contact, smiling, introducing yourself, and leaning in. It is about asking open questions and listening actively. It is about synchronizing body language, voice, and words to create familiarity. It is about recognizing sensory preferences and communicating on the other person's wavelength. It is about being memorable by sharing vivid stories and authentic details. These skills are not reserved for extroverts or salespeople. They are for anyone who wants to build better relationships, at work, at home, in your community. Practice them. Start small. Greet the barista with eye contact and a smile. Ask an open question to a colleague. Synchronize your pace with a friend. Notice how people respond. Notice how you feel. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Now, a personal review of this book. How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less is one of the most practical, actionable books on communication I have ever read. Nicholas Boothman writes with warmth and clarity. He does not overwhelm you with theory. He gives you simple steps you can use today. The examples are real, relatable, and memorable. The concept of synchronizing is brilliant. It explains why we connect with some people instantly and struggle with others. The sensory preference framework is a game changer. Once you start noticing visual, auditory, and kinesthetic cues, you will see the world differently. You will communicate more effectively. You will build rapport faster. This book is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the best version of yourself in connection with others. It is about authenticity, respect, and curiosity. If you want to improve your relationships, your career, your confidence, this book is essential. Read it, practice it, share it. It will change how you meet people, how you communicate, and how you live. If this video added value to your life, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson. Drop a comment below. Which skill from this book will you practice first? Will you focus on your attitude, your greeting, your questions, or your synchronizing? Your journey to better connections starts today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Today, take that small step. Your future self will thank you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep connecting with the people around you.